Good afternoon. So thrilled to be here today, this fantastic, beautiful day, and such an inspiring event. It is insane how we managed to connect so closely, even though we're actually virtually together today. I hope you feel the same way. My name is Ksenia, and I currently live and work in Espoo, Finland. But my cultural heritage is quite diverse, being Armenian, Russian, growing up in Soviet Union. I am a long-term participant and great supporter of women in tech cause and movement. One of my contributions being establishing the XR Women Nordic initiative for ladies in XR to connect together. Feel free to comment in the chat while we are talking, and I'll try to pick up some questions, but our time is rather limited, so I invite you to join our Q&A session after this chat. So today I have a wonderful guest with me, Jessica Lindholm, who's the Director of Competence Development in the service market at Volvo Trucks. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Senia. Good to be here.
Nice to have you here. So we're going to talk about immersive training and collaboration. But before jumping into this topic, I'd like to first ask you to give a little bit of background and how did you end up in your current role? What type of influences did you have along the way?
Thanks a lot, Senia. Well, after graduating from mechanical engineering at school, I was a bit curious about the field of business administration and economy that I had chosen not to study. And I had the opportunity to work within this field for some time. And however, pretty fast realized that I actually made the right choice in the first place, choosing technology that to me is a lot more fun than compared to economy. And living in Gothenburg, it is the location of the head office of the giant company Volvo Trucks. It was a great opportunity for me to enter this giant company. So back in early 2001, I started off as a certification engineer within Volvo Trucks. It's a role that I've never heard of up until that point in time, but it was great fun, and I learned a lot about our products and the way we work with our trucks. So I remained within this field of the company for, let's say, 10, 12 years, and worked with various roles, but mainly within the field of project management. So I really enjoyed that part of the introduction to Volvo Trucks. But then I changed from developing our products into instead developing the people taking care of our products out there instead. So I'm speaking about the retail network with the different workshops of Volvo Trucks where we service our customers. So I was still a project manager. We managed a training event, but in the format of a competition. We call it Vista. And this competition targets the people who service the retail network, the technicians, but also the customer receptionists, people in the dealer network. And we had the opportunities to try new technologies in this project. Since 2016, I've been the group manager for technical training. So the training event Vista, that's one of the training solutions. But in technical training, we develop and deliver technical training solutions to the technicians out there in various kinds. And in one of the development, that's actually where you and I met, Senja, for one of the first times. Yeah.
Jessica, what a wonderful journey. And I'm always thrilled to hear about engineering backgrounds because that's something that really interests me as well. But in my career, I haven't had a chance and learning to be an engineer, but I worked alongside with them quite often. So yeah, quite a lot of admiration from my perspective towards your journey. Could you please tell a little bit about the case that you have just mentioned, the one which includes immersive technology and training?
Yes, I can. I mean, it was last spring actually. In Volvo Trucks, we are constantly developing our products, and in spring last year, we launched a totally new electric truck. Electric driven truck, it requires another kind of competence of the retail network. And by the time of the launch of this product, we also got the pandemic, meaning that we could not ask people to travel to get this competence by what we normally do physically. We meet face to face and we transfer the knowledge in a classroom where we actually meet next to the truck. This put us in a need of an alternative way of transferring this knowledge. And with the Vista competition, where we've had the opportunity to try VR, the virtual reality environment, we had some experiences to let's choose this environment for the knowledge transfer of electric competences, because it puts another kind of need to our technicians out there. So together with you, we developed a multi-user virtual environment for training purposes in VR. So that was quite, or still is, a very, very fantastic project that we've done together. And I can really see this is here to stay, actually.
Yeah, the pandemic did not only bring some negative effects, but it has really accelerated the adoption of the new digital ways of doing things and the new ideas. So it's really great to hear about one of the top examples that we have seen, and from your perspective as well, to adopt the immersive learning and to share it globally with the workshops. Could you share your thoughts about the actually positive impact of immersive technology and the virtual reality in this case that can be showcased in the training operations and in general for the user experience as well?
Yes, so for the environment as such, when you are in the common room in VR, you feel like this is your real life. This is not just another game, or this is real to you when you are there. And there are studies showing that the brain doesn't really understand whether it's for real or not. You've maybe heard about frightened of heights or something, even though you know you are on the flat floor. If the ground disappears around you, you really feel like you are up in the air. And this is the same way when it comes to knowledge transfer. So studies shows that you using VR, it's a really good tool for knowledge transfer. So this is what we can lean back towards, that we really do believe this is a good way forward. So I could see we can gather people from around the world. We have a reference group from the Volvo group, which is worldwide. So we have representatives from various areas of Europe, but also from Australia and other parts of the world. And you feel really close. You do not really need to travel to feel that you are in the same room. You save time and environmental impact. You save lots of things with that positive aspect of VR. Speaking about generally in immersive technology for trainings, if we compare to not too many years ago, we have come from like site permissions and approval processes and expensive license cost of tools into a more open and inclusive way of working, a more collaborative way of working with a very clever tools for that is available to all of us. So we've really seen a big change when it comes to openness and area to collaborate in a more efficient and fun way, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And this idea of the new way of inclusiveness using the virtual environments, it resonates a lot, because I think previously you have also mentioned your experience with avatars and how they allow it to either self-express, or they showcase that everyone is quite equal. So you don't have differentiators. So you can be from anywhere in the world. You meet all together in one and the same virtual environment. And you have this inclusive collaboration type of feeling where you achieve a goal together. You work towards learning new things together and performing better.
That's right.
What kind of experience do you personally have with the virtual reality? How has that? How do you find it? Like, do you find it brings additional benefits for working in training? Yes, but from the personal perspective, is there anything that resonates specifically personally with you and your own experience?
I could. I mean, I really feel there is no difference between where you are from. You with the avatar, like you mentioned, you you have the same hat, you have the same gloves, and the face is an avatar, and they all look the same. If you prefer, you have your name written in the air, and you could hear like you really were in this environment. If you are next to me to the right, I can hear you from the right. If there are many others in the room, I can hear from where they are and understand who they are by their voice. So speaking about diversity and inclusion, this you can choose whatever avatar really, but this is the experience I have in VR is that everyone is equal to this environment, and if you are optimistic or positive or welcoming new technology, this this step to enter a new technology like VR is new to many of us. Its step is quite low. It doesn't take much to embrace this one if you allow and embrace that this is a new way of working. And I have this experience from this setup that everyone has been really curious and willing to try new things and see the opportunities it brings. So that is yeah, that is what I've seen at least.
That sounds very, very interesting, and it's great that curiosity is driving the adoption of the new technologies. So that's, I believe that's exactly how it should be. We should explore the opportunities and find the ones that bring the best value. I'd like to ask you one question, because you have in Volvo Trucks, you have global network of workshops where you need to provide training, and of course it is relevant that there are different cultural differences in different regions. And if we talk about Sweden or Germany or Australia, have you noticed any type of distinct differences in terms of being open to trying the new technology, being open to bringing this virtual reality into the training process? And if you have noticed, what are those?
I have not noticed a change depending on from which country you are or from what kind of role you may be in. It's more of the different differences in the personal interest, I have to say. It's more if you are welcoming change and is acting open to new technology, having a welcoming mindset. That has been the commonality, independent on where you are from. So I haven't experienced that that difference from a country or nationality aspects. I mean, we can be in the same family having very different viewpoints upon things. And I think if you are welcoming and open to this is more valuable compared to where you're from. To me, it hasn't shown any difference from that.
that pretty much confirms my experience as well, that globally all over the world there are people who are interested and who are driving this forward. So it's great to hear that you had a similar positive experience in that respect. And we have still 10 minutes, and I'd like to ask you a question which maybe requires a little bit more time or contemplation, but I believe it is ultimately one of the most important questions for our session today, because new technology is appearing quite often and constantly. So we can't be settled on AI and machine learning, and we can't believe that we understand it fully. We can't be settled on the virtual reality as we have it right now, because there is the next idea, there is the open XR, there's 5G coming, there are all those technologies that are being rolled out constantly. So I want to learn from you, and I want to understand what is your view, and please share it with our audience as well. What type of skills or what type of mindset should we adopt in order to stay successful in whatever roles we currently have, so that we are prone for the future, so that we are future-proof in a way? How should we treat this constant technological advancement? And are there any practical things that have helped you to have such a great career and adopt the new technologies along the way?
That's a big question. It's I mean, with like you mentioned, a number of changes that we have experienced and that we have still in front of us. I think rather than to see changes as a threat, we have to embrace it. If we have the skill to embrace change and see upon its opportunities or advantages, we can probably overcome whatever threat or what you might be frightened of, that with the unknown, because there is always something unknown in changes. And if we can overcome that and face the advantages and feel confident in that, I think that skill is a huge advantage if you can embrace change. I mentioned the more easy way to collaborate with the more open and transparent tools that we have. It still goes back into the human connections. We need to cooperate, and you do that between people, and that is that's where you need to be open to diversity, to include people that are as much unlike you as possible sometimes, to have the different viewpoints, to understand what's best for you or whatever target you are aiming for. So to be inclusive to others' viewpoints, it's another skill that I see is important. And it doesn't matter whether that is in VR or in real life, so to speak. It doesn't matter what medium you are in. We still need to have a good interactivity across humans, because that is key in everything, I must say. And of course, confidence to believe that whatever you take on, that you trust and have the confidence in yourself and trust whatever you are convinced with, this is true for you. You will always face skeptic people around you, but have the confidence to really believe what you believe and feel confident in that.
Jessica, such delicious words of wisdom. It's fantastic to hear. Like, exactly, you bring up confidence, and you bring up inclusivity and being able to include the people with completely different viewpoint. This, I also believe, is ultimately very, very important skills that we have to retain no matter what the future brings. And maybe worth sharing as a piece of advice from my personal professional experience, that even having having non-technical background as education does not prevent you from working with technical areas, and bringing this human perspective and user experience in digital service design in technical areas is very, very important. And I had to go and learn some technical things in order to be on the same level of understanding with the technical teams and the engineering teams, but it did work out quite well. And I believe that learning as we go, whatever skills that we realize we need, is very big advantage that we currently have in the digital age, because like in Matrix, we can load pretty much any type of knowledge that we realize might be currently missing, but that doesn't mean that it's going to miss forever. So you go out, you get what you need, you get mentorship, you get support, and you can bring it to your work and personal life as well. So very inspiring. And I know you have previously mentioned also something that resonated with me quite a lot about the next generation of learners, the next generation of doers, and the generation which currently we consider as kids or young adults who are already digital natives. And you had interesting experience. Could you please share how, for example, your kids had interacted with the virtual reality? How did that, and what did that teach you?
Yes, and I mean the way I see like 2 years old, yes, with a smartphone, it's so natural just to swipe, and they come to my laptop screen and try to scroll, and it's not a touch screen. So I wonder, why doesn't it swap? So it's a behavior that is so natural for them. But my kids are a little bit older. So my 9-year-old, when she first tried VR, she just entered the Google headset and looked around like, wow, this is cool, and what is that? And just very, very naturally from the first second, just started to interact like this is just another environment. It's virtual, but to her it was the world. It comes in less than a second. And if I mean the 18-year-old, when speaking about what digital tools, etc., they are using, they are the ones entering the workforce now, and they are expecting this way of working. So we need to welcome them into the workforce, because they will be the ones taking over, and more of them will be at our colleagues soon. So it's it really feels like we just need to embrace this and be prepared that this is here to stay, and we need to be the role models to develop this even further.
No, this is great. And thank you very much, Jessica, for sharing your thoughts, sharing your great experience in adopting the new technology, mainly the immersive technology currently in your work and the processes, and driving these initiatives in such a big company as Volvo Trucks. And we have currently a few minutes left in the session. Once again, I thank all the audience for being here and for listening to our discussion. And I want to invite you to join both Jessica and myself in the Q&A room. You can access it by pressing a button underneath your live stream in the browser. And we'll try to address the questions that you have put in chat. I scrolled through it and picked up at least a few, and feel free to answer or to ask them again. And at least we have one topic that we haven't touched upon just yet, about the potential limitations or the challenges that Jessica and team have faced on the way, and how to overcome this. So we will start maybe with this question and then continue taking some from your side. So Jessica, any final words from your side?
Well, I would just say, if you are really confident or convinced about something, I really encourage you to trust that feeling. Have the courage to trust yourself. You will always face the people with skepticism. Prove them wrong and go for it.
Thank you. And with that, I thank all of you, and we'll see you soon in chat. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you.